New construction options. Building. Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Construction complete. Cannot deploy unit. Building. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready. Training.
Waiting order.
Unit ready. Training. Unit ready.
Roger.
Training.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Waiting. Roger.
Unit ready. Training.
Waiting order.
Unit ready. Training.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Ready and waiting.
Unit
Roger.
ready.
Yes, Roger. Affirmative. Waiting order. Roger. Reporting. Right away, sir.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Acknowledged. You got it. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. You got it. Waiting order. Roger.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Right away, Roger. Reporting. Roger.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Reporting. Roger.
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Roger.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Building. On board. Cancel.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. You got it. Waiting orders.
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Building.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Report. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Report.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete. Cannot deploy here. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Waiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Vehicle. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds. Construction complete. Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative.
On hold. Cancelled. Building.
Awaiting order. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Yes, acknowledge. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting. Acknowledge. Reporting. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Awaiting order. Affirmative. Yes. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Reporting. Reporting. Affirmative.
Building. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
On hold. Cancel. Building.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Reporting. Waiting orders. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledge.
ready. Building.
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Report. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Vehicle report. Yes, acknowledge. Acknowledge. Wait. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Unit ready. New
Waiting.
construction
Acknowledge.
options. Training. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir.
On hold. Cancel. Structure sold.
Yes,
Building.
sir. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Waiting orders. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Wait. Affirmative. Yes. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. 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 Yes, sir. Acknowledge. 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 Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Building.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, reporting. Report. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Reporting. Affirmative. 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 Vehicle report. Waiting orders. Reporting. Acknowledge.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Reporting. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Acknowledge. Waiting orders.
Building.
Acknowledge. Yes.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Yes, affirmative. Right away, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Base
Right
under
away, sir.
attack.
Waiting order. Right away. Right away.
Unit
Roger.
ready.
Yes,
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Okay. Reporting. Acknowledge. Wait, Roger.
New construction
Yes, sir.
options.
Reporting.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Building. Building.
Reporting. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Yeah?
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Waiting orders.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge.
Unit ready. Building. Construction complete.
Vehicle reporting. Reporting. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting. Waiting order. Vehicle reporting. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction
Affirmative. Yes,
complete.
sir. Waiting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Vehicle yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Vehicle was acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 And yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. 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 Waiting on reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting on acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Awaiting orders.
Structure
Yes,
sold.
sir. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Waiting orders. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Awaiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting.
Base under attack. Unit lost. New construction options. Building. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Insufficient
Acknowledged.
funds.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Vehicle reported.
Ion
Acknowledged. Yes,
ready.
sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. 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 Yes.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Got it.
Unit
Got it.
lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
lost. Select target.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost. Cannot occur here.
Waiting.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting.
Base under attack.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. 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 Reporting. Acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Structure sold.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Vehicle reporting.
Building.
Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting orders. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Waiting acknowledged. Waiting orders. Vehicle affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Negative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Ion
Reporting.
cannon ready.
Acknowledged.
Select target. Structure sold. Base under attack. Select target. Unit lost.
Ready and Roger. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Reporting. Reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, right away. Affirmative.
Training.
Reporting. You got it.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, not a problem. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle. sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Reporting. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Report. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Waiting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting orders. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, acknowledged. Yes, affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Waiting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. And waiting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Report. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting order. Reporting. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Report. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. 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 Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Reporting. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Vehicle reporting. Waiting. You got it. Yes, sir. Ready and waiting. Right away, sir. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Select target.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir.
Base under attack.
Yes, roger. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Report. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. I hear you.
Building.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting order. Affirmative. Reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Yes, affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Waiting orders. Reporting. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Reporting.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Waiting order. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Vehicle affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Building. Construction complete.
Report affirmative.
New construction options. Training. Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Affirm. Yes, sir. Waiting orders. Waiting orders. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting orders. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting orders.
Base under attack.
Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Yes, acknowledge. Vehicle reporting. Reporting. Waiting. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Vehicle reporting. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Building.
Vehicle affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Waiting order. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Waiting order.
Insufficient
Waiting order.
funds.
Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Yes. Affirmative.
Ready. Select target.
Yes, affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Awaiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Structure sold.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Awaiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Waiting orders. sir. Waiting orders. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledge. Waiting orders. Waiting orders. Acknowledge. Waiting. You got it. Roger. Yes, sir. Waiting orders. Affirmative.
Base under attack. Structure sealed.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Got it. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Reporting. Reporting, sir. Got it. Reporting. Affirmative. North. Yes, affirmative. Reporting. Yes, affirmative. Ready, Roger.
Unit lost.
Yes, right away, sir. Yes. Got it. Affirmative. Got it. Got it. Got it. Affirmative. Yes.
Unit lost.
Waiting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Awaiting order. Affirmative. Yes. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Report. Acknowledge. Vehicle report. Acknowledge. Waiting order. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledge. Yes. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Report. Affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Report. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Reporting. Waiting for knowledge. Acknowledge. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. With vehicle? Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Select target.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Vehicle report. Acknowledge. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Reporting. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Report. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Reporting. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Waiting order. Yes, affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Building.
Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledge.
Unit ready. Building.
Waiting order. Acknowledged.